flashlight. The shooting of Dan McGrew. Hang on. A bunch of the boys were whooping it up in the Malamute Saloon. The kid that handles the music box was hitting a jig-jag tune. Back in the bar in a solo game sat dangerous Dan McGrew, and watching his luck was his light of his love, the lady that's known as Lou.
Great, turn that off.
When, out of the night, which was a 50 below, and into the den of the glare, there stumbled a miner fresh from the creeks, dog dirty, and loaded for bear.
That's it. He's dirty.
He's dirty.
Oh, that's me.
He looked like a man with a foot in the grave, and scarcely the strength of a louse, yet he tilted a poke of dust on the bar and he called for, "Drinks on the house!
Drinks on the house!
There was none that could place the stranger's face, though we searched ourselves for a clue. But we drank to his health, and to the last of the drink was dangerous Dan McGrew.
Drinks on the house! You heard me? Bunch of lushes.
And he's drinking. Yeah, he's drinking.
There's men that somehow grip your eyes and hold them hard like a spell. And such was he, and he looked to me like a man who had lived in hell. With a face most hair and dreary stare of a dog whose day is done, as he watered the green stiff of his glass, and the drops fell one by one. Then I got to figuring who he was and wondering what he'd do. And I turned my head, and there watching him was the lady that's known as Lou.
That's the lady. What's the lady? What's the lady right
He's watching me.
there? See?
Wait a minute.
His eyes went rubbery round the room. Rubbery.
Robbery.
Ow, I did it again.
And he seemed in kind of a daze, till at last that old piano fell in the way of his wandering gaze. The wandering kid was having a drink. There was no one else on the stool, so the stranger stumbles across the room and flops down like a fool. In a buckskin shirt he was glazed with the dirt. He sat, and I saw him sway. Then he clutched the keys with his talon hands, and oh my God, but the man could play!
Yeah, I know. He has dirty hands. Yeah. He's like the piano dirty.
You can see.
Were you ever out in the great white snow alone when the moon was an awful clear, and the icy mountains hemmed you in with a silence and you most could hear, with only the howl of a timber wolf, and you camped where there was in the cold a half-dead thing in a stark dead world, clean mad for the muck called gold? While high overhead, green, yellow, and red, the northern light swept in bars. Then you've a hunch what the music meant. Hunger and night and stars. and the hunger not of a belly kind, that's banished with bacon and beans, but the gnawing hunger of lonely men for a home and all that it means. For a fireside far from the cares that are, four walls and a roof above, but oh, so crampful of cozy and crowned with a woman's love. Yes, a woman dearer than all the world and true as heaven is true. God, how ghastly she looks in her rouge, that lady that's known as Lou.
She's a lady. She's a lady. See? The house, the pretty house now. I know.
Then, on a sudden of music came so soft that you could scarce hear. But you felt that your life had been looted clean of all that once was held dear. That someone had stolen the woman that you loved. That all her love was a devil's lie. That your guts were gone and the best for you was to crawl away and die. 'Twas the crowning cry of a heart's despair, and it thrilled you through and through. I'll guess I'll make it special misere, said dangerous Dan McGrew.
It's on the house!
The music almost died away, then it burst like a pent-up flood, and it seemed to say, repay, repay, and my eyes were blind with blood. The thought came back of an ancient wrong, and it stung like a frozen lash, and a stranger turned, and his eyes, they burned in a most peculiar way. In a buckskin shirt that was glazed with dirt he sat, and I saw him sway again. Then his lips went in a kind of a grin, and he spoke, and his voice was calm. And boys, says he, you don't know me. And none of you care a damn. But I want to stay, and my words are straight. And I'll bet you my poke that they're true. That one of us here is a hell of a hound. And that one is dangerous Dan McGrew.
Dangerous.
Then I ducked my head and the lights went out, and two guns blazed in the dark. Boom, 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 boom! And a woman screamed and the lights went out, and two men lay stiff and stark. On his head and pumped full of lead was dangerous Dan McGrew. Oh! While the men in from the creeks lay clutched to the breast of the lady that's known as Lou. That's you.
Oh. It's empty, but we gotta watch out for it.
These are the simple facts of the case. And I guess I ought to know. They say that the stranger was glazed with hooch. And I'm not denying it so. I'm not so wise as the lawyer guys, but strictly between us two. Hey! Over here. Between us two,
Us too.
the woman that kissed him and pinched his poke was the lady that's known as Lou! She's gone.